One thing that's really kind of struck me in the last year was I saw a chart recently where it was showing the number of counties in America that created a new solar energy system. The same number of counties in America passed ordinances disallowing solar in their communities. There's clearly something there. Some of it comes from just a lack of understanding. People want to slow down and understand what's going on, which is great. We want people to understand and feel comfortable. We actually have some more funding to fund more states to get involved in these collaboratives out now, and we're hoping to announce more soon.
The Department of Energy deploys technology, information, and funds through an organization known as the Solar Energy Technology Office. The purview of CETO, as it is commonly known, is vast, but the impact is specific. And it has been a joy to watch how, especially under the recent Biden administration, the CETO office and the administration have really been able to lean in to underserved communities and community solar and removing bottlenecks that really, truly make a meaningful impact in how quickly we can deploy solar. My name is Nico Johnson. I'm the host of the Suncast Media Zone. We're live at the Midwest Solar Expo, brought to you by Solar Simplified. And I'm joined today by the Deputy Director of CETO, Garrett Nilsen. This is your third or fourth time on Suncast. It's great to have you back.
Yeah, it's great to be back. It's always a good time.
Indeed. You always have a plethora of information that you can share with us. I think we should start with kind of at the top. Everyone knows that the IRA is being implemented and deployed and that it's having an impact. Could you give us a sense from the DOE's perspective of what is that impact of the IRA?
That's an excellent question. It's obviously kind of multi-pronged. So first, on the deployment front, which we're all eager to see growth in, our projections looking out into future years are seeing a pretty significant uptick in terms of the amount of deployment that we'll see, which is great and really encouraging. Of course, we're fighting in a race against time as well. And so based on the analysis that we've done about how fast solar needs to be deployed to address the decarbonization of the electricity sector and the overall economy, we're still lagging a bit behind that, even with that little burst of IRA. But I think what's exciting there is that by getting more work, we're going to find more ways to drive down costs. We're going to find more efficiencies. And it really is something that scales with volume. And so it's really going to be great to see what's going on the deployment front. On the manufacturing side, it's been hundreds of gigawatts of manufacturing, different components of the solar modules that have been announced in the US, along with other components like trackers and things of that nature. We haven't reached the point yet where we have that full supply chain from poly to module.
Right.
But we're starting to see, we're seeing a lot of promise in there. We're seeing announcements on those earlier sections of the supply chain. Now it's just a question of, what's going to come to fruition. We have a lot of optimism, but there's always headwinds of lowering prices, changes in interest rates, and just a very competitive market space in a competitive globe. But we're really optimistic that we're going to see a complete and domestic supply chain supplying at least a good portion of the modules to get here in the United States.
That is certainly exciting. One of the things that, despite the tailwinds of the IRA, still exists are a number of bottlenecks. Most notably, I would argue, is the interconnection queue and PJM and MISO and many other locations around the United States. Interconnection has truly become the pinch point. What's the DOE doing to help alleviate that bottleneck?
Yeah, well, first I'll say our colleagues over in FERC, we're really excited about the new rules that they're putting into place. Hopefully that will really help, smooth or streamline the queues a bit. In our office, working with the wind technology office, we've launched something called the Interconnection Innovation Exchange, called I2X. This is a stakeholder engagement and ultimate funding process to bring parties together around interconnection. Over the last year, we've talked to over 500 different organizations with over 23 different listening sessions, engaged with all the ISOs, RTOs. As part of that, we developed a collaborative process where earlier this year, we were able to release a transmission interconnection roadmap.
Wow.
So the idea there is that there's 30 short, medium, and long-term things that we can be doing at the state level or the utility level or so forth to smooth interconnection queues. And this was a huge comment process. We got a lot of people to weigh in, and we're really excited to see where it goes. And the big effort this year is going to be coming up with kind of the brother or sister document to that for the distribution grid, which we're currently working on now, and folks will see out for comment hopefully pretty soon. But we're really making a big push to bring the right parties together, really think about how we can implement technology, how we can share lessons learned and alleviate that bottleneck.
Yeah. Another bottleneck, and I don't know if I'd call it a bottleneck as much as a constraint, is that we are running out of what you and I became so familiar with in the early days of solar, which are those easy, flat, beautiful square parcels of land. We're moving closer to areas of population. We're moving into arable farmland, moving into mountainous and sort of uneven terrain areas. And I would say that beyond the queue being a problem, siting conditions, everything from the available land to the availability of the community to open themselves up to renewable energy like solar has been a problem. Is there anything that the DOE and CETO are working on specific to siting conditions?
Yeah, we have another program that we're working on with our friends in the wind office as well. It's called RSTEP, and I know I'm going to get the acronym wrong. It's a hard one, but it's Renewable Siting Through Technology Engagement and Partnerships.
You got it.
And so this is something where we're looking at kind of state level collaboratives. So a lot happens at the state.
Yeah.
And so we funded our first few states. We're here in the Midwest. We funded collaboratives that are led mostly by extension schools. So Purdue Extension School, the Purdue University Extension School leading Indiana, Iowa State leading an effort in Iowa, Michigan's Department of Environment leading an effort in Michigan, and then I believe there's one more in Wisconsin being led by UW-Madison. So the idea here is that we're going to take trusted partners. So land-grant universities are a very trusted partner in theirs. Bring together community people, bring together developers, bring together utilities to really start a dialogue. One thing that's really kind of struck me in the last year was I saw a chart recently where it was showing the number of counties in America that created a new solar energy system for the first time deployed a medium to large size solar energy system. The same number of counties in America passed ordinances disallowing solar in their communities.
Yeah.
So there's clearly something there. Some of it comes from just a lack of understanding. People want to slow down and understand what's going on, which is great. We want people to understand and feel comfortable, but there's just a lot of different fronts in which these things are slowing down. We're really trying to create collaborative discussions, and we actually have some more funding to fund more states to get involved in these collaboratives out now, and we're hoping to announce more soon.
How does this money work its way into the community? Obviously, it goes through these partner organizations, but I imagine it's earmarked for specific types of community engagement, and it's dedicated to trying to turn that community sentiment to be, I presume, favorable for renewables, or at least help them understand what it's all about and why it matters to their community. Could you speak a little bit more about that?
Well, I'd say it's less about targeting, say, a specific town. So being in Illinois, this isn't about how do we change Peoria, Illinois' siting, right? Yeah. But this is more about if we can get representative groups from different parts of a state and just come up with, this is how developers should approach a conversation. This is how communities should approach a conversation. And if we can set some of those rules in a road and create a little bit of a roadmap, I think it'll make more parties feel comfortable, more parties feel heard, and then subsequently more parties to feel like they're making an informed decision.
Yeah. I think that community solar has been a key focus for the administration, and in particular, CETO. Love what you guys are doing with Nicole's team and focused on the underserved communities. Can you talk about the scale of change that's happening in community solar?
Yeah, I think it's a really exciting time. We've set out some ambitious goals about having, 20 plus gigawatts of community solar deployed by 2025.
Yeah.
Originally, I was like, man, that's unnerving. But we're starting to see that ramp up.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of it has come to, one, people being more familiar with the business model. Two, we spent a lot of time through the National Community Partnership creating a lot of engagement across different partners so people can learn from one another. And we have another section called the Clean Power Accelerator, which is kind of a multi-pronged thing. So it has a checklist for how do you get financeable for a community solar system. There's a prize program which will help new entrants learn how to go from an idea to a pro forma document so they can actually talk to folks. And we talk to bankers with billions of dollars out there ready to fund low-income solar. They just need to be talking the same language as their partners, and they need the partners to change the language to come into their world. And then finally, there's been some great work that we put together that builds off of prior funded work at the University of New Hampshire, where we have a lot of training resources available for local financial institutions and other entities of that flavor who are eager to get involved in solar but don't quite know where to start. And so this is something where over the last couple of years, our team has been pushing those prongs forward, and we're finally starting to hit exit velocity and really start to see some sharp growth in the community solar space.
Yeah. I want to dig a little deeper into the training for the finance institutions, because I think that one of the things that we've identified is that these developers are really good at developing assets. They're really good at engagement at the community level, at helping the farm owner or the landowner understand how to get involved in this new economy, this new type of farming, as it were, farming electrons. But getting the capital aligned is something that has been sort of left to the bankers, right? And so how is the DOE helping developers understand their role and understand how to engage in the capital providers and how to communicate with them better?
Yeah, I mean, for the very large developers, they're going to be fine. They're already there.
Yeah.
But so our Clean Power Accelerator, what that is, it's a 3-phase program where it's basically come to us with a multi-megawatt portfolio of multiple projects in community solar, help us flesh out and help you we provide a little bit of funding to help you flesh out kind of like the details of the project and get to site control. And we'll provide a little bit of more money and coaching through classes and stuff like that on how to create a pro forma, how to make sure that your project has what we call meaningful benefits as a part of it, which are, household savings, workforce development, local resilience, and things of that nature. And we want to make sure those are all in there. And then finally, the last stage of the prize program is you're actually getting connected to those financiers, some very large financial institutions, to then subsequently take that next step and to get things funded. So it really is like trying to provide financial incentive and support to get people growing, because in that sense, a lot of these small businesses just don't have the time to figure out the complexity of how to finance these spaces, and they get stuck with one or two financial sources that may or may not be great for them. The more tools that we can give them to shop around, the more competition we'll get, the more that will put downward pressure on financing, and hopefully it just kind of becomes a snowball effect in that area.
Navigating energy.gov can often feel like you're stuck in the middle of the snowball trying to figure out what exactly is happening at the DOE. It's always enlightening, Garrett, when we get a chance to sit down with you and you can help really distill for us what is going on at the office level for the Solar Energy Technologies office. Garrett Nilsen is the Deputy Director of CETO, and I appreciate you taking the time while we're here at Midwest Solar Expo to enlighten us a little on the work that you guys are doing.
Always happy to chat. Happy to be here.
Indeed. And happy that you've joined us as well for the Suncast Media Zone, brought to you by Solar Simplified. Tune in again, as we'll have many more conversations like this in moments to come.